the strangest feeling to know what to believe in. Cause every time you touch me, I can't control my body. Oh, baby, you are on my mind, all I think about, and I don't wanna stop. I don't wanna stop. Could you come closer to me? I just can't resist you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. I am stuck in a dreaming. I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm breathing when you are with me. My heart is beating. I am stuck in a dreaming. I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm breathing when you are with me. My heart is beating. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Getting into you. It's like we're in a movie. I don't know how you do it. I look into your eyes and everything is different. Baby, you are on my mind, all I think about, and I don't wanna stop. I don't wanna stop. Could you come closer to me? I just can't resist you. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. I am stuck in a dream.
Hey, 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 successful women. How's everyone doing? Hi, VIPs. Hi to YouTube viewers as well. And say hey in the comments and hashtag replay if you're not watching it live and you're watching it later so that we know that you stopped by and that you're checking us out today, okay? So how's everyone doing? I hope everyone is having like a great summer so far with your family and your friends and stuff. Like summer is like we're in the middle of summer. I can't believe it's almost halfway over, but we got to enjoy it while it's here, right? I finally got a tan. The sun finally came out. It's been doing nothing but raining up here, but the sun came out. I'm not pasty anymore, so now I'm happy. So I want to talk about really quickly before we bring our guest on. Everyone's talking about threads, right? Everywhere you go, everyone's like, you want threads, you want threads, you want threads, right? So are you in there yet? Let us know in the comments. I hopped in towards the end of last week and it's growing fast. Like you get followers really, really fast on there because it's so brand new. But I think we're all trying to figure out like the best way to navigate it and to use it. It's similar to Twitter, right? But it seems like it's going to be really fun though. So I would say that a lot of the same marketing, like the value marketing techniques are still going to work the same in there. You want to lead with value. You want to add value to other people's posts or threads or whatever we're calling them in there, probably threads, right? You don't want to be spammy, like buy my stuff, but you can certainly come up with and develop like your own threads personality, right? Like, you know how like on TikTok, you have like a TikTok personality and all that stuff. So what's your threads personality going to be? So let us know your thoughts of threads. If you're on threads, if you're using it, what you think, have you come up with your own kind of threads personality? Let us know in the comments. Okay. So this week we have relationship and intimacy coach Monica Ballard as our guest, and she's coming with her training, The Sexy CEO. So let me bring her on.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Monica, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you took time out of your day. I know it's early for you. So I'm so glad that you took time out of your day to be with us here today. And I will give you the floor and I'll be back.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for having me as a guest here on Lunch Break Live. My name is Monica. I'm a holistic relationship and intimacy coach, and I specialize in helping successful, ambitious women break through blocks that have been holding them back in their relationships and sexuality for years, even after therapy, and find safety in themselves by healing their relationships with their own bodies, desires, and sexuality. so they can co-create deeply fulfilling, erotically alive relationship and soul deep trust with an aligned partner who utterly adores them. So let's get right into it. Why are so many successful, brilliant, beautiful, loving women unfulfilled in relationships and love? And what do I mean when I say unfulfilled in relationships and love? This might look like women being alone or not being able to meet the right person, yet deeply desiring aligned partnership. Or it can look like continually experiencing the same toxic, hurtful patterns in relationships, the same stuff coming up again and again, even when you start over with someone new. It can also look like having a committed long term relationship, but feeling chronically disconnected or like something is missing. The qualities, traits, and habits that make us successful as women in business often lead to workaholism, burnout, and self abandonment, meaning you focus on and prioritize external goals and values to the point where you lose touch with your own core values and your true desires. And a woman who is chronically stressed, physically exhausted, disconnected from her feelings and emotions, and disconnected from her true desires is unable to attract or sustain healthy, thriving partnership because, in short, we get what we give. And when you don't learn to give to yourself, you don't learn to let anyone else give to you either. When you operate from a dominant orientation of giving, and your receiving current is weak and underdeveloped, in time, you will become physically, emotionally, spiritually, and sensually bankrupted. And this is often accompanied by resentment, regret, confusion, cynicism, depression, and secret feelings of powerlessness, worthlessness, and hopelessness. There's an interesting thing I've noticed too, which I'd like to share here, which is that women with ADHD excel at entrepreneurship. In fact, 4 to 5% of adults are estimated to have ADHD, but 29% of entrepreneurs have ADHD. We now know and are learning more all the time about how ADHD can result from and has a lot of overlap with PTSD or CPTSD, often resulting from childhood trauma experienced in childhood. Childhood trauma is also the root of many toxic, painful relational patterns in adulthood. So, knowing this, it all makes perfect sense to me that highly successful female entrepreneurs have an especially high rate of historical trauma and wounding that makes them brilliant, multi talented, think outside the box, soul centered business baddies and CEOs, but creates challenges in their personal relationships. I and many of my clients are the first in our family line to stop negative intergenerational patterns, heal, and create a new legacy of total wellness that includes deeply connected, safe relationships. Creating a new legacy of love, wellness, and success doesn't mean that we have to be perfect. It's about learning and embodying the necessary skills to work through the triggers, challenges, and surprises inherent in life, and cultivating the ability to regulate our nervous systems when we've become dysregulated, as well as cultivating the relational skills needed to practice repair after ruptures in our relationship, which is when we have a fight or a disagreement or trust is broken, and then we repair, and that's how we come back together. Without that skill, we can't create the safety that's required to grow and deepen intimacy. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how long you've been frustrated or what's happened in the past. It's never too late for you to create the safest, most loving, rock solid, and sexiest relationships of your life. It's never too late to feel free and uninhibited in your body and beautiful in your own skin, plus holding it down as the sexiest CEO on the block. And I know because I help women do this each and every day. I've found that a holistic, whole woman approach is the only way to create lasting change and ongoing expansion for myself and my clients. And a whole woman approach means creating a new relationship with your body and reclaiming your body as a source of wisdom, pleasure, and guidance, and getting out of your head, which is where we spend most of our time, right, with work and business, and getting back into the body. We do this with movement, dance, breath work, self massage, and sexual self care practices, which, in my opinion, should be as commonplace as brushing our teeth. The whole woman approach includes clearing and releasing our soul shrapnel. And soul shrapnel is my term for the residue and imprints from our past wounds and intergenerational and epigenetic trauma, which is, if you don't already know, science tells us that we inherit a minimum of 3 generations of trauma. So the imprints of anything that your mama and your grandmama that they experience, so any addiction, any abuse, any suffering or pain, we get that in our DNA. And so we already have that imprint affecting us and affecting our expectations as we go forward, right? So even if you yourself, if you haven't experienced, abuse or violence, and yet you still are running into certain challenges, there may be this issue of epigenetic or intergenerational trauma, as well as the cultural conditioning of what it has meant to be a woman in society. And women are the most oppressed species on earth, as well as, depending on the shade of your skin, you experience real life oppression and challenges in your sovereignty. So there's a reason that we feel blocked. And it may not always pertain to something that literally happened to you. It could be something that's coming in with you. So, clearing is not a one time event, it's a tool for maintaining good spiritual and emotional hygiene. And nature herself demonstrates the need for regular cleansing through the seasons, through the new moon each month, and through the menstrual cycle, just to name a few examples. Some of the modalities that we use to clear soul shrapnel are clearing statements and affirmative statements, rituals, reparenting practices, using a jade egg, which is a form of sexual self care that I teach, and also self massage and fascia work. And fascia is the connective tissue in the body. The whole woman approach also means becoming fluent in the language of your desires, feelings, and emotions so that you can start to use these as energy and fuel instead of stuffing your feelings or repressing them until they express through the body as dis-ease, which is always what will happen because the body never lies. So your emotions cannot actually be stuffed. They're going to be felt either consciously or unconsciously through your body. And finally, the whole woman approach means healing your relationship patterns and up-leveling your communication skills and your capacity for radical honesty, which is the foundation of intimacy and arousal, and increasing your ability to receive as much support, care, resources, and pleasure as you give to others. So the whole woman approach includes the inner work, and it also includes the relational skills and the outer work, right? To up level all of these things. When your relationships stop draining you and start energizing you, your health and wellness improve, and you have more to pour into your business. When you learn how to restore and use your feminine power, you become irresistible and magnetic to others in all areas of life, not just romantically. When you up level your relationship skills, you become not only an epic and unforgettable lover, you also become an even more effective CEO, leader, and human being. I help women to create these kinds of game changing relationships, and it all starts with the relationship they have with their own bodies. So there are links to 2 different free masterclasses that I have coming up in the description of this interview, and I can drop them in the comments. The first masterclass is the Better with Time masterclass, and this is actually focused on women who have experienced hormonal disruption from perimenopause going into menopause, who feel like they don't know themselves anymore. And this masterclass, I'm going to talk about my favorite strategies and solutions for managing those symptoms so that you actually have even more satisfaction. You actually love your body more than ever before, and you're cultivating more pleasure and more intimacy than you ever have before in your entire life. That's the Better with Time masterclass. And I have another masterclass called the Sensual Rebirth masterclass. And this masterclass is for women who they've been wounded in love in the past, and they want to release that and not carry that forward into their current relationships so that they can actually move forward and have the love and intimacy that they desire. I will put those here. And you can also see all of my free and paid offerings in my link tree. I'll drop that link. And I have included a special limited time offer only for viewers of Lunch Break Live. So I created a coupon code. It's Lunch Break, all lowercase, all one word. And this will give you $700 off of Orgasmic Intimacy, which is my 6-week private intensive for women who've been wounded in love in the past, and they're ready to leave trauma and toxic intimacy patterns behind for good and feel emotionally safe and beautiful in their own skin so they can experience soul deep self trust, orgasmic self pleasure, and incredible sex with an aligned partner. And that coupon code is good until Thursday, July 20th. You can slide into my DMs if you have any questions at all. And I would really love to stay connected on the socials. I'm mostly on Facebook and Instagram. I have not gotten onto Threads yet, but I probably will. So please stay connected with me, and I will be offering different new upcoming free masterclasses. So thank you again for investing your time in being here with me today and listening to me. And I hope that I've reminded you that relationships hold the magic and the secret sauce and of joy and meaning in life. And it's never too late to experience the most supportive, loving, transformative relationships of your life. And your body, exactly as she is right now, is the bridge and the gateway to get there. Thank you.
That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I was like mesmerized listening to you.
Yay!
I was like my heart was pounding a little bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's got some good stuff going on here. I'm gonna have to check out your masterclass. I feel like this is stuff that I feel like as women, we're like, we don't first of all, we don't recognize where we need help sometimes. And then when somebody spells it out for you, like you just did, you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. Oh my gosh, that's me. You know what I mean? And then sometimes we also feel uncomfortable reaching out for help for stuff like this because we're supposed to be like all knowing and all powerful. We're not supposed to be reaching out for help for things like that. So I think it's like you have a really great like approach too, because something like this being so uncomfortable, you seem like you're just very approachable and very soft and very like, what's going on and you know how to help people. And I totally, I can feel that from you. So I totally appreciate you coming in today and hanging out with us today and offering us a coupon code. Hello. Yeah. Make sure you put that coupon code in the comments so that we have it. Because that's amazing.
You just said something really important that I didn't mention, which is that I often work with leaders, therapists, business owners, and they're at the top of their game. And so they're holding and creating space for other people. They know how to create a safe space, but often they don't have anyone on their level necessarily where they can actually safely open up without fear of judgment, because it's like, well, how could I be successful and yet be struggling? And we do need a specific and a safe place. And that's another reason why this work goes that next level beyond talk therapy. Because I've found that a lot of women have been they've even censored what they've shared in therapy because they're still preserving their authority, and it makes sense. But
Yeah.
then if we don't open up and have a safe place to shine the light, we don't ever receive the care that we need at those deep levels.
Yeah, I can totally see that. So I totally appreciate what you're doing and how you're helping women and you're helping women in business. But so thank you so, so much for all that you're
Thank
doing
you.
here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thanks.
Woo, I hope I can follow that because that was heart pounding stuff. All right. So I'm going to get into something more practical. Maybe we can calm down from that. Whew. So, not practical. I mean, hers is practical too. I mean, practical for a business, but not the emotional stuff that gets your heart pumping because that was a lot. I have to calm down from that a little bit. But that was really, really good. And I appreciate her coming on. All right. So, I want to talk to you about how to acquire clients and customers from a Facebook group because, at the end of the day, we want more clients and customers because that's how our business grows, right? That's just the nature of the beast, right? But so I want to talk about like networking and like making things happen in a Facebook group. And this is something that I get a lot of questions about because a lot of women they don't think they're getting it right, right? Because it's still relatively a new concept, right? Not as new as some other things, but Facebook groups it can be tricky, right? And I'm certainly always learning new tips and tricks and changing and evolving the way that I do things. And we have to evolve as social media does, right? Not to go too far into a deep dive, but in 2021, marketing really changed. Okay. There was a lot that happened in our world that just absolutely changed everything. There was a pandemic, there was issues in the countries with like leaderships and wars and so much negativity in general. So consumer skepticism has been at an all-time high and the BS meters are through the roof. And especially in the coaching industry, people have been burned by offers that didn't deliver what they promised, right? I know I have, unfortunately. So, because of that, consumers make purchases a lot differently. And we as entrepreneurs, we have to pivot and adjust the way we do business. And sometimes our whole business model, right? We have to change our whole business model. We have to update it to be able to sustain and to keep growing. We have to find that way to continually move our prospects through our sales funnels, whether they're automated or they're physical. You're physically the funnel, you're your own funnel. And to those prospects, it's like a journey, right? Now, we're not going to try and reinvent the wheel with our lead generation strategies because there's paid traffic and then there's organic traffic. It's either one or the other, but they're both like huge umbrellas that have a lot of different variations under them. But at the end of the day, they're both about building relationships. All right. Tell me in the comments if you agree that sales is about adding value and building relationships, especially if you're some kind of coach, if you're in the coaching space. You can do it in email, you can do it in Messenger, you can do it in the DM, you can do it on the phone, in a video, on social media, right? So a Facebook group is like a funnel, right? And the older ways of like, I'm not going to say older, but like the more traditional ways of webinars and things, they are still around and they do work, but they don't work 100% for the majority of women. And that's just a factual statistic, right? So, the easiest and most fun and enjoyable way to get leads and clients organically is through Facebook groups. Now, things like challenges and launches and webinars, they do still work. But unless you have like coaches and a VA to help you really build this stuff out and set it up, right? You're going to end up working like a dog and you're going to be burnt out, right? And that can also get very expensive very quickly, especially if you're not getting a return on your investment. So we're looking for inexpensive ways to make the sale without being salesy or pushy or spammy, right? Because no one wants to be that pushy salesman, right? No one wants to be sending out a bunch of cold messages to random uninterested people, right? That's just going to make you hate your business. So if you want to change your mindset to realize that your Facebook, or it could be a Facebook group that you've invested in a membership with, right, is a big part of your new funnel or your lead magnet, right? If you don't have your own Facebook group and have no interest in creating one, that's totally fine. There's a lot of groups out there where you can join a community and you can kind of treat it like it's yours and make a name for yourself in there. It's totally possible. People will come to a Facebook group to have that sense of like community, right? And they want to be educated by their favorite entrepreneurs. They want to be entertained and laugh with their biz besties, right? And if there's a really good admin running it, it's a safe space where people will really be enjoying their time there. Okay, so that's where you want to head. So imagine if you had a clear strategy of teaching them inside the group about what you do and how you're like different than anybody else that's doing something similar to what you do. There are very natural and organic ways that you can nurture members in your group so that they will start to approach you and then say, I've been watching you for a month and I want to know how I can work with you. How can I learn more from you? Okay, that happens to me a lot. But for a while, I didn't have like a formal program to put them in, but now I do. So now it's great when it happens because I'm all set and I can quickly get them up and running. So something that I teach in my program is that you have to have your group set up in a certain way, right? I don't only teach Facebook groups, but it is one part and it's optional if you're creating your own or if you're getting into someone else's, right? But if you're joining someone else's group, like maybe you're becoming like a paying member, you can connect with people, you can advertise more easily. You want to make sure that that group is set up well and has a great admin and also great moderators in there as well, right? The group really needs to showcase what you can do, but it needs to be clear that you are an established business or you're an established coach and you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about. We don't want to look like we're just doing this as a hobby or we're lazy or we're unprofessional. There's a certain vibe and energy you have to give off, right? Don't you agree? Tell me in the comments if you can feel the vibe of a group or a coach or a business owner when you get in it, right? Talk about that in the comments because I know that's a big deal, right? It has to be your business has to be professional and you want to be in a really professional group. All right? A lot of it has to do with the very first impression, which is that cover image. How does that cover image look? How like aesthetically, how does it look? Is it drawing people in or is it repelling people away? Like is it tacky or is it classy? You could, go for that kind of description. That's a real question you need to ask about your group or about a group that you may want to be a paid member in. So you have to look at it from the lens of the consumer. Okay. Also, what is the name of the group? How is the description worded? Right? Is it something similar to what you would word? Is it positive? Is it negative? What kind of vibe are you trying to get out there? How are the settings? Right? What are the join questions before you come inside the group? These are all things you need to take in consideration. So the group even needs to be set up as a lead generation machine as well. And I say that because it's a funnel that will allow you to get those dream clients coming to you without you having to chase people down. All right. And ads are great. I mean, people run Facebook ads to their Facebook groups. You can't run it directly to a Facebook group. You can run it to a landing page, which brings people to a Facebook group. But people do it all the time. But it requires a team of people to have them set up and scale properly. And most entrepreneurs don't have a budget for that and they can't afford that. So we want to start out with these organic marketing strategies and really look at it through the lens of the consumer. If you're a solopreneur, right, and you're trying to get to that first like 10K month, you can totally do it even if you have just like one VA or virtual assistant helping you. It's easy and it's fun and you can make it work if you have a strategy. You can do big number months without ads just from your Facebook group because this is where you can build that know, that like, and that trust that we know we have to have. So if your prospects see you showing up consistently in your group or in the group that you're a paid member in as professional, providing value, giving amazing trainings, whether they're pre-recorded or live, crafting these wonderful posts to help them get quick wins in their businesses and see you as an expert, it builds trust effortlessly, organically, and naturally. So this is what I teach so I teach this kind of, it's like a less is more approach, right? When it comes to posting content. You don't have to post 5 times a day, right? It's the quality of the posts, right? The quality of the content that's going to make people say, oh, that's me. I want to hear that. I need that help. And they're going to raise their hand and ask you for your help, right? And you can add value. You want to be adding all this value into the Facebook groups and then use a call to action with instructions for them, right? Because people really need to be told exactly what it is that they need to do. You're going to say something, I mean, you could use anything. It could be say me in a comment, right? Quote unquote me, or they DM you and they say help, like quote unquote help, or you could say, check out my link, which could be if you have an automated funnel, and then that process is automated and you don't have to do much else. But that is why engagement posts are so important, because that's your cue, that's your in, and that's how you can naturally spark up conversations. You want to turn up the juice of your group and then go live. Right? Go live is scary, right? I believe, at least the way things are right now, you need to go live in the beginning at least once a week, right? And that's in the very, very beginning. But then you can drop it down, right? You can drop it down once your biz starts moving, if you want. You're probably going to get busier and busier. You won't have time for the once a week lives, right? If you want a ton more engagement, do it twice a week. Okay. It just depends on what stage you are in your business, but live trainings get pushed by the algorithm and more people are going to see you, and it gives you more of an opportunity to connect with your ideal audience. Okay. They're strongly favored by the algorithm and you will get a ton of exposure. But you also need to be connecting like that human connection every week, right? Eye contact, right? I'm looking at you right now. You're looking back at me, right? Even if it's through a screen, we're still looking at each other. You can see that I'm a real human. I have real information. I have real advice, right? Can you feel my vibe right now, right? Let me know in the comments if you feel like that live presentation really makes a different connection than pre-recorded. Pre-recorded is great, but live just has something else. And like I said, the algorithm will push you even further. Okay. If you want that same vibe to be in your Facebook group or the group that you're a member in. Okay. I know some people are deathly afraid to go live, right? Or the lives are kind of a mess and there's no structure and there's no call to action at the end, right? Maybe you just don't have the right formula yet, right? And if you're saying, I go live every week, but I'm still not getting clients, I can help you audit your live structure and we'll see what's going on in there. My lives always end up with new leads and new conversions and new conversations happening every single time I go live, right? But you need to have that structure. You need to have a call to action, right? You need to give value. You can invite them, you can give value and invite them to book a call. You can give value and then invite them to your webinar. You can give value and then promote your offer or your freebie, right? We love to help and give value, right? That's what we're doing here. But we're CEOs here, we're businesswomen, and we need to make a living here with our value. If you haven't gone live before, I have lots of tips and tricks and I can help you be able to do it, right? Trust me, you get used to it. You're always going to be a little nervous, but you get used to it, right? Have your notes ready and just do like 10 minutes and get off there. And at least you did something. And then every time it gets a little bit easier, right? Prepare the way you need to, but there's no way to actually get used to it without actually doing it, right? Get on that camera and talk to your ideal audience and build that connection. Pretend like your ideal client is sitting right in front of you when you're looking into that camera. You're talking right to her, him or her, right? You're talking to her, to that ideal client, okay? Now, your posts need to be knockouts as well. This is something I teach in my attraction system as well as part of my VIP posting calendar. The posts need to be spot on, right? And there's one framework that I will share with you that's probably the most popular framework, and it's called the PAS framework, okay? It's an oldie but goodie, and it can be a game changer for your business. And if you know this framework, tell me in the comments, right? You want to do this at least twice a week, all right? So here's a little golden nugget for you. P is for pain, A is for agitate, and it stands for solve. So pain, agitate, and then solve, right? And the solution, the solve, is going to be you. You're the solution, okay? So you just choose one pain point in the hook, and you want to agitate that particular pain point. and then you transition to the solution. Again, you are the solution. Okay. You want to add some credibility statements in there, like maybe how many clients have you helped? Do you have any certifications or degrees? Tell them something like, this is why I love what I do, and I'm so passionate, and I'd love to learn more about you. So book a call or check out my free offer or whatever it is, whatever your call to action is going to be, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the point is, the post needs to have the strategy and the elements of sales psychology to get them to raise their hand. This is how you move people along in the sales funnel. This is how you move them closer to making that decision to buy from you and to work with you. But you need tactical strategies, and you have to prompt them to engage with you. You literally have to tell them what to do. Okay. So again, I feel like that was a huge golden nugget that I just gave you. If you haven't heard of this before, I want you to write that down, the PAS framework, rewind this, go back on the replay, rewind this, do it again, and try to get a post out there today or tomorrow with this PAS framework and see how it changes the game for you. Okay. This is not a salesy, spammy post. This is adding value and adding a call to action to your ideal clients. Okay. And if you have questions, then I encourage you to reach out to me or to grab my free class in the video description, because I teach all of this stuff. Okay. Now, the last piece to this, right? The magic is in Messenger. And I'm sure you've heard this before by other coaches, and it's true. It's like being on the phone. You get to personally connect, and they get to ask you questions, and you get to have them get clear on what it is that they need. A lot of women are very insecure, and they feel that they're not good enough and that they're failing. DMs and calls, like sales calls, for example, strategy calls, that can be where you uncover the pain and find the right solution for them. I promise you that even the 8 to 10 figure coaches, right? The $1 million coaches and entrepreneurs that are running ads, they're still in the DMs with prospects. They're likely having a team doing it for them, but they're still running organic marketing. That is where you need to start, and you can do it too. You want to get people into a conversation. You want them to feel your honest concern for them. You want to ask them, like, is there something that you're needing help with? How long have you been feeling this way? How bad is it getting? Is it affecting your marriage? Is it affecting you as a mom, etc.? Okay. When they realize that you do care and you just really want to help them, and they start sharing this information with you, then something inside you is going to light up, and you're going to think, I can really help her. Right. And if you can't help her, honestly, if you can't help her, then you can refer her to the right place or the right coach. That would be the right thing to do. But if you feel like you can help her, right, then you want to like invite her to a call, right? This is how you can do it without, if you don't have a sales funnel, you can invite her to a call, right? Or you can invite her to just, talk about some more, ask some more questions in the DMs or whatever it is that feels comfortable for you, right? So Facebook groups are not going to be your only source for leads, right? But this training is just about Facebook groups, but I get clients and customers from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube as well, and it's always the same process. You want to get people into conversations, right? But if you're just starting out, then a Facebook group is an amazing place to start, right? And if you already have one, and it's not working for you, I could totally take a look at it and see how it's set up and if it's primed for your prospects and for your ideal audience. Okay. How's your cover? How's your description? How's your I help statement? Is it there somewhere? How are your posts? Okay. What is your strategy like in there? Are you going live every week? And are you building the know, like, and trust factor? A lot of this stuff is totally fixable and it can be changed like quickly. And then all of a sudden, it's like a light switch came on and things are happening. Okay. So just to recap, number one, set up your group for success, showcasing that you're established and you're professional and you're an authority in your field. They need to see who you help and exactly how you help them. If your prospects are confused about you, they will not buy. Okay. 2, make sure your content in your group is high quality and high value. No fluff posts. Go live, make some of those PAS posts, but give value and make sure to use a call to action and tell them the next steps to take with you. And number 3, before you have an automated funnel set up, is to move people from your group to a messenger conversation. Okay. If you want my help, then message me freedom, or message me weight loss, or message me collagen, or whatever word would apply for your business. Then when people reach out to you, right, you start that conversation in Messenger, not a spammy, salesy conversation, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. One, to get to the root of what it is that they really need help with. This is 2023, and this is how we network now. This is how we have conversations now. And the consensus right now is that this is one of the best ways to get your social selling business running quickly now. Okay. When you have the cash, you can start to hire people to do these things with you or for you. Okay. But for now, this is how you get started. And if you want the absolute fastest and most fun way to get this done using these tips, then grab my free course, okay, how to sell your offers even without an audience. This is soon to be updated. I'm working on it right now, and I will be charging for it shortly. So grab it in the video description now while you still can. Check for that link below. And me or my assistant, Michelle, many of you know Michelle, we can answer any questions that you have for us. You can shoot us a DM, you can answer any emails, and we'll answer your questions, okay? So thanks again to the lovely Monica for her training. Make sure you check out her link as well. She's also putting links in the comments and a coupon code. And I will see you guys next time.